Yo, what is good, family? Hope you all are having an amazing day. In today's video, we're gonna talk about a very specific pattern that I personally don't follow every single time because of the time that this pattern happens. But I'm sure that a lot of you guys, as me in Europe, you can follow it every now and then. And for sure, people on Asia and America, you guys will be able to follow this for sure. So let's kick it off. It's basically the exact same thing, M5R. Exact same thing that you guys have seen me doing all this time on YouTube, but we're filtering it like one step ahead, one step forward, right? And it's basically the Tokyo Open that happens every single day at 1 a.m. as you guys know, 1 a.m. Madrid time. But we're filtering it on the weekly Open. So basically it's on the night from Sunday to Monday, all right? That's pretty much what this pattern is all about. You don't need to do anything different. Just focusing on Bitcoin from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. on the night from Sunday to Monday. Alright, 1 a.m. Madrid time. Now, the specific thing is, can you combine this model with all the rest of the models? Yes, for sure. You only need to do one thing, and it is to calculate the structure in the same way that I always do on the videos, because once you understand how to really trade M5R, you can apply it on any time frame, on any pair, at any time of the day. And now Bitcoin that has a lot of movement at every time of the day, at every open of the session, now you have the possibility to say, oh, all right, so Charlie's telling me that based on 100 trades and hundreds of trades of data, that on the weekly open Tokyo session is so far one of the best models to trade with Bitcoin on the M5R. Let's try it, right? So depending on where you are located, this will be a better or a worse time schedule for you, but it's a very good pattern that basically it's increasing the profitability, the win rate, and the expected value. So if you're in Europe as me, it's worth giving it a shot every now and then if it fits on your weekly schedule. So keep it in mind, guys. For example, this is today's example. Let's get it. It is basically 1 a.m. It's literally the exact same thing that you guys see me doing on every London Open. All right, low, high, higher, low, higher, high. Market opens, strong bearish candle. This is basically the type of movements that you can have at the weekly open on Asia. And basically we had this high and we had this low. The high is a bullish rule of the third impulse, perfectly valid, not active yet. And the bearish is a bearish BOS, which is completely valid because the candle that made the high, it's different to the candle that will make the entry. Eventually, next candle activates the entry, all right? We cancel the buy stop, and eventually price melts all the way to the downside after consolidating a little bit on the area of entry. And yeah, it took a little bit, all right, a few hours. For example, if you're in Europe, obviously you take the trade 1:05 a.m. You don't have to be in front of the charts because this basically closes at 2:30. It will be pretty weird that Bitcoin does like massive movements with huge spreads on the Asian session. All right, it's very weird, super weird. So you should not be worrying about letting the trade run overnight. All right, you can go to sleep without any issues. Obviously, if you're in Asia or you're in America, you don't have any problem. You can track it, but it will need mostly zero management. All right, you know that the only way that makes us close a trade before hitting the invalidation or the exit is if we have a red folder on the US dollar, for example. We close the idea 1 minute before, but basically having, let's say, an Australian dollar red folder or a New Zealand dollar red folder or a Japanese yen red folder will be the exact same thing for Bitcoin than having a euro or a pound red folder. They can affect, but it's not as volatile as an FOMC event or a CPI event. They are completely different, all right? So yeah, don't worry about it. Only worry about USD red folders, which happen on the New York Open. This is the Tokyo Open, so you don't have to worry about news. Therefore, mostly zero management literally zero management on any trades in Tokyo. All right, only later on you execute the trade. You can go to sleep if you are on this type of schedule, and you wake up to the next day probably with the invalidation or the exit hit. All right. So with this being said, family, hope this was valuable. Definitely a very important pattern to track and take in consideration if you guys feel ready to do so. With this being said, remember that on the description of the video you have the link to my Instagram. You can ask about available spots for the private group of students and have access to all the intensive course. Go from 0 to 100 with this strategy and be able to switch between pairs, sessions, time frames, assets, markets, and literally trade M5R exactly as me and all my advanced students. Have access also to the live analysis sessions that I do from Monday to Friday in Spanish and English at the London Open. If you cannot be live, don't worry, you can still watch all the sessions recorded, and also access to the app where I send all my market ideas in Forex and crypto. If you are more advanced, you have already your strategy, you are already profitable, but you feel stuck with your results and you want to scale faster, you can still talk to my DMs, and in the private group of students you will have my personal follow-up to scale your system, to scale your strategy, make it even more profitable and accelerate your results. So it doesn't matter your level of expertise, the private group of students is for you. With this being said, family, see you on the next videos. Let's get it.